Today on the Ave Podcast, you interested in a unique story? Come. Follow me. I'm going to share one with you today, all right? I'm joined by a couple of friends, but more importantly, I'm joined by the owners of Purple Box Mobile, Sasha and Derick Anderson, as we discuss the creation of the first ever mobile kids spa in Canada, much less Toronto, and also creating one of the few lanes for this industry in North America. When you go from creating the concepts of a traveling bus spa to having Big Boy from Outkast not only rapping on your spa, but assisting to create the new ones that you're putting on the road in Florida, yeah, we need to get into that. And with that said, wherever you listen to podcasts, Sasha Ave is there, including my YouTube channel where you can watch this episode and watch it from your phone, your tablet, or throw it on your big screen. And if you weren't aware, once again, the name of the channel, of course, is Sasha Ave. And you can also watch it from SashaAve.com. You can come watch it there, and it'll also allow you to dive into the rest of my catalog. And also hit the like and subscribe buttons. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. And click on all, each, and every one of those 5 stars if you're on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify. All right, it's greatly appreciated. Now, before we start the show, we recorded this on Tuesday, just a couple of days ago. And while we wrapped up the pod and was just, talking for a little bit and catching up, I received a text that soca star Ricardo Jew suddenly passed away literally at the same time as we were recording. His death was pronounced at noon, to be precise. This one hit home for me a little bit because, just to give you a quick story, when I started doing podcasts in 2016, this was actually my first celebrity interviewer. So that was the first season I did of The Stoop. That was the season finale of the first season. It was pretty unique how that came about. He actually wasn't my first person I interviewed. I was actually more nervous for the first person I interviewed. Shout out to Lizanne Murphy, the Canadian basketball player. I think she's recently retired now, but at the time she was still hooping overseas and playing for Team Canada. I was more nervous for that interview than I was for Ricardo Jew. And that interview, I'll be honest with you, it made me feel confident about the road that I was taking because the interview, it dropped in my lap so fast. I just had to prepare for it. I didn't get a chance to really overthink it. There wasn't a lot of nerves there, and I just felt super comfortable, and it gave me a lot of confidence going forward. And the interview turned out great. Actually, we shared the podcast earlier this summer, I think around Caravana time, on what I call Memory Lane, where I repurposed some of my old episodes. I reshared it this summer, and what was cool about it was when I reposted on Instagram and everything like that, Ricardo himself, he reposted on his Instagram and, hit me with the LOLs and stuff because of the clip. And, and then in talking to DJ Chris Nice the other day, I think he ran into me either last year or this year, and he actually still remembered the interview, which, that really, that gave me a good feeling, that he actually still remembered that. And, they had a good time with it, talking about it. So that made me feel really good. But, that was my first interview. That was my first celebrity interview, I should say. And, to watch somebody pass away of apparently a heart attack at 38 years old is mind-boggling, man. I think the soca community, what goes without saying, is rocked. The world is rocked. Everybody's shocked. It's just so unfortunate. It's so sad. He's left behind 3 children. His fiance, which is the soca superstar herself, Patrice Roberts. My thoughts and prayers goes out to her, his family, his ID team, everybody that's involved with his career. Like my heart goes out to you guys because, like, from what it sounds like, he was on his way to doing some big things this Carnival season coming up for 2024. Like, he had some songs in rotation that, like, he was coming with it, so to see him, bask in the glow of that would have been a great thing. And, for him not to be able to do that now is heartbreaking. I know that's not how we wanted to start off the show, but I couldn't start that off without sharing that story and once again share my condolences to his family, as well as the Roy Cape All-Stars. I forgot to mention them because I know they're feeling that loss as well. He was also part of them. That's how we came into the soca game. It's just sad, man. But like I said, I didn't want to start it off that way, but I that news hit home, when I heard that on Tuesday. So, but rest in peace to him. And if you guys ever want to go check out that particular episode, like I said, I reshared it a few months ago. So if you're on Apple or Spotify, and even on my homepage, you're able to go back and click on it. And I think we did a little like 7-minute mix of his songs at the time. So it was one of my favorite interviews, and like I said, it was my first one. So so like I said, my condolences goes out to his family. Once again, this is the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio.
Welcome to the Ave Podcast, where I'm joined by the owners of one of the more unique business models that I've ever come across. This is a spa, and most importantly, a kid's spa on wheels that'll come anywhere you are. And I'd rather let the owners tell you their story. So please welcome Sasha and Derick Anderson to the show. Please, how are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks.
I'm doing good. And you know what? Hold on a second. Let me make you guys feel comfortable. Hold on. Put this toque on. Make you feel comfortable. You missed this. You missed all of this.
Every once in a while, we talk about the toque. No lie.
They don't call it a toque here.
What they call it? What they call it over there?
A beanie.
Or winter hat or a beanie.
Oh, beanie. Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you
Believe
go.
it or
Christmas,
not.
you know what I'm saying? Like I want to make you guys feel comfortable. Make you feel like you're back home.
Freezing.
You missed all of this. You missed
Honestly,
Little jacket, everything.
you're too sweet.
Yeah, man. You're missing Timberlands. You can't wear Timberlands in Tampa.
Damn
There's
right.
no shovels. What'd you do with your shovel? Come on, man. You guys are missing
They
out.
should've
man.
given them to you.
You know, the
What's that?
first thing he sold was the his winter tires. That was the
Oh, yeah.
first thing he sold.
Oh, yeah. I would've did
He's
that
like,
too.
I don't need these.
Nope.
If I wouldn't have sold it, if I was you, I would have thrown it off a cliff, just like one of them shows, just toss it aside. I don't need you anymore. Just toss it aside.
That's too funny.
Although, like I said, it does get cold. I was wearing my toque this morning, so
Mm-hmm. Your beanie now,
My
because now
beanie,
you're on
yeah.
that side. You got
I'm still in kilometers. I'm still in Celsius. I'm not changing that for nobody. So
Yeah, I
For
would
now.
more likely change sooner than she would.
yes.
for now. In about 2 years, your nails are gonna be like this long, and you're gonna have all these kind of different things talking about girl.
Or I appreciate you.
No, thank you. And I know we've been, talking about this. You guys been doing this for years. So I've always been kind of interested in this model and following this story of you guys.
Right.
But you know what? Just for everybody else, I know there's a genesis. There's always a beginning to how all of this starts. So
Right.
take us back to the beginning. Like, how did this even start? How did Purple Box Mobile even start?
Well, Purple Box came about. I wanted to do makeup. I wanted to be a mobile makeup artist. So I worked in finance. So started going to school, learning how to do makeup at night professionally. And then that's how I started. Once I graduated, I jumped in my car and then started promoting myself through Groupon and that kind of thing to get business and get weddings. So Purple Box really essentially started, I think in February, it'll be 14 years ago.
Oh, wow. It's been that long. Holy
2010.
smokes.
2010,
Wow.
I started, yeah.
Oh my God.
And just doing makeup, driving all over the place,
Yep.
doing a lot of weddings, up and down the,
Hotels sometimes.
yeah, a lot of hotels, a lot of different venues doing makeup. And then I discovered the children's party space. My sister did a birthday party for my niece, and the amount of money people spend on birthday parties was phenomenal to me. So we did a trial party for my niece in the home and brought all the stuff, and that's how it kind of started. So before the bus came, we did it in people's homes. Brought 2 big duffel bags and set up the whole spa event for them, and then we did it in the house.
So the mobile part in the beginning was just your car,
Yeah.
right? It was,
Right.
Yeah.
I got ordered the door magnets. so people could see, the ads
on Vistaprint. On my little Mini.
That's right. And then the Audi,
and then just drove around until somebody told me I cut him off on a bicycle and I should tell my drivers to be careful downtown Toronto. So then I took the magnet off the car. But
what, the magnet fell off or something?
No, I just took it off because I was like, now people have my phone number, so and email me. But
you're like liability issue. I'm trying to get sued, right?
Exactly. So that's how it started. In 2017, in maybe 2015, or even before that, I said, I would love to do this truly mobile and bring the whole beauty bar to the client, and they just get into something. So I wanted a bus. I wanted a bus initially, and people were like, "That's such a cool idea. Never heard of that." Financially, it made more sense to buy an RV at that time. So we did that. We went up north and purchased an RV. Some of the uglier sides of business, as we handed the guy the check for the RV and we're about to drive away, it died.
Verbatim.
Dead. Had to pay, had to get a big rig tow truck to come tow it.
Oh my gosh.
And then we left it up north for a few months because I was like, I don't even know what to do now.
We had to find a mechanic in that area, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So then I was working as a sales rep for a company and they laid off the whole sales force. So once I got laid off, I said, let's just go get we call it a bus. Let's go get the bus. And then I started researching to find somebody who can build it out the way we wanted it to be built. Mm-hmm. And Derick is an excellent draftsman. So he drew it all out based on what I, said. And even with our American bus, the US bus, he did the same thing. He drew it out. And that's how it got designed.
Wow. That's interesting. Because and I think as I remember from the beginning when you guys when we first saw the bus, and I remember being like to myself, like, wow. I think I even told you, Derick. I think I even told you at the time. I'm like, you guys are sitting on a multi-million-dollar idea. Like I saw it immediately once you guys said that. Once you explained it to me what it was, at first I was like, oh wow, they're sitting on something. They don't even. I'm like, I don't even think they even realize the scope of this. So I'm thinking like way out.
Way out. Yeah. Well, even people didn't when we started, they didn't trust that we were going to show up. Not with the weddings. The weddings are just different. So we would do the trial on the bus. So they see it. But when we started doing the kids parties on the bus, they almost didn't want to pay their deposit or the balance because they're like, well, I don't know if you're going to show up. Right. Mm-hmm. So that was a hurdle to overcome in the Canadian market to get people to believe that we are legit and we, rain, snow, shine, we come out no matter what. Mm-hmm. So that was a slow building process. And being the only business of that kind in Canada, it made people a little skeptical at first.
That's true.
Because the reviews,
because you essentially created a lane like that was never there before.
Right. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's like you guys basically created a service road beside the highway. It's like, where the hell did that come from? Should we drive on that?
Yes, sir.
I like that.
But how hard was it to transition from being in that 9-to-5 life? I know you said you got laid off, but how hard was it to transition from that to going after this business?
Yeah, that's a great question. It probably took me 2 years. Work. I just read something the other day, you quit your 9-to-5 job to go do your own business because you could be your own boss, but you really do work 24/7. It's not just 9 to 5. Yeah. So it took about 2 years to adjust because at 5 o'clock I was like, my mind's done. And now I'm, work's done.
You're leaving your work at home. Or at work, I should say.
Yeah. But realistically, 5 o'clock you could be done, but then at 8 o'clock, you got to make loot bags or you got to get your kit ready to do a wedding or
staff
or schedule staff and, just a plethora of things that you got to do. So it was a hard transition. And then you're not getting a salary. You're not getting a paycheck. So that was
an adjustment.
I've been working since I was 14. So to not get a paycheck, every 2 weeks, it was a huge adjustment for me. So luckily Derick was still working. So he was still getting a good paycheck.
And benefits and stuff and all that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that plays a part too, right? You don't think of that side of it where you're like, oh, geez, like dental. Oh my God, like health, like life insurance. Like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just, having a job that I worked in Toronto. You don't want to go to jump on the GO train, jump on the subway, drive downtown. You don't want to do all those things. But there's a whole other side to it. If you want to take vacation, it's not paid anymore. Right. So it's a life adjustment.
Yeah, because when you do that, you're literally sacrificing profit, right?
Yeah. So even I would go away, and then Derick would drive the bus and be with the party host and stuff like that. But if anything goes wrong or something, like I'm on the phone, and it's just you can't completely relax. So.
Well, especially I think in that beginning phase too, right? Because it's just you, or you and the two of you, right? So
in the beginning, I didn't drive the bus, so he drove us everywhere.
I remember,
and we were more mom and pop kind of deal. So Zakai was with us.
That's right.
Everywhere we went, to every party, Derick and him would go inside the houses. This guy had steak. He was having wine. He was doing while we're working doing the party.
Some nice parents out there, man. They
really
offer
nice.
it. Would you like some steak? One more time?
Sure.
All right. Oh yeah. They'd have a little son. Zakai could play with their son. So it depended on the family, of course.
Yeah.
But
we have a good time doing these parties. They've always been a lot of fun for the most part. And people just enjoy it. So the scope of things changed after COVID though. So
yeah, for everybody, I'm sure. But before we even get into that, before you even get into that part of it, like take us behind the curtain a little bit. Like, what were some of the initial reactions that you guys went through, especially when you first started, in terms of like, reception from your environment, your peoples, your family, your friends?
Right.
What was the initial reaction when you were telling people this? Especially when you knowing that you're leaving, like you're not. Well, I can't say leaving because I know you got laid off. But like even that part is like, were there people like saying, "Well, why don't you go get another job until?"
Well, it's funny. My sister she's always worked for herself, so she was super supportive. She's like, "This is," I called her crying, and she's like, "This is your chance. Like, you can build out the bus, and you can really start being your own boss and that kind of stuff." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." But you're still like, "How are we gonna pay for life?" Like, I think Zakai was like, one, new baby, new house, new business. Like, we just can't do things normal. So, my family was super supportive of it. Just as, what could they really say? I think some people still expected me to get a job, and they're like, "Oh, I talked to so-and-so and we can get you a job here," and stuff. And I was like, "Well, I don't really want a job. I have a job."
And
so
they're probably like, "What?"
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's a different mentality, and sometimes old school mentality of how, they worked at a place for 40 years. So, us moving jobs, or it's a little unsettling to other people who don't understand it that well. But yeah, and even at some points, I kind of thought like, maybe I should get a job. The bills are mounting, and the business it takes time to grow a business. It's just what it is. So so I just had to we just grinded and pushed through it.
Down and push through.
Yeah. And just kept getting our name out there, drive the bus, park it at Celebration Square for all day, let people see it, let people figure out like, what is this thing, and go on our website. So it is a difficult, I don't know, anything you're going to do unless you have deep pockets. And even if you have deep pockets, you just don't know how things are going to turn out. Right.
Well, then especially too, because like when you're creating a lane, I think we're in this era now where, a lot of traditional models, and you're seeing it like in TV and different things where streaming and all this stuff is happening, where it's changing the way we do business. It's changing the way that we think about just certain aspects of life. Everything. So I think we're now in this, I like to call it this creator, like we're in this kind of like creator era, this last like 5 to 10 years with social media and People are becoming stars on, just conversations, and you know what I mean? Like,
so Instagram models and all kinds of stuff now.
Right. Like there's a whole industry models and what they get paid and what they charge.
Yeah.
What they charge for to post one of your ads or one of your your products and all that stuff. And so I think I could see where people might have like some sort of hesitancy, and that's why I asked the question, because I'm like, it's something that hasn't been done before. But but at the same time, I don't think people are realizing this creative energy has been coming here the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And now it's here now. But like
now
even
at
that time, it was still at the beginning phases of it.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think it was for our model of business, it was new in Canada. But in the US, in Texas, even Miami or Fort Lauderdale, they do have them.
Right.
They had the kids spa on wheels and beauty bars on wheels and stuff like that. But it was so foreign to the Canadian market. And even to this day, nobody has come, knock wood, yet to offer the kids spa. Like there's mobile makeup artists and they built buses and stuff like that to do beauty bars and stuff. But the kids spa space, nobody has come yet to create that in Canada.
No, that's interesting. And then I guess in terms of even being this new age or new entrepreneur, like for yourself or for you guys, like how hard was that? Like just, in that space, like just to start off, even like to, even before you even got laid up, like how was that? Like just to know that you're going to have to enter this space, you're going to have to leap into this entrepreneurial pool.
Right. Well, even finding, like doing the research in Canada to find somebody to build the bus was a challenge.
I can imagine.
Not even by the time we found Josh, I had been looking the year before and couldn't find anyone. And then I don't know, like I do a lot of research on everything. So I called one place and they said, "Oh, try this guy." And that's how we ended up in Cambridge, finding them to build out the bus for us. But even, taking the drawings to them and saying like, "This is what we want." They were like, because essentially they were building a beauty bar. It wasn't the kids spa side of things. They were just building a beauty bar. So they were like, "You want mirrors here? You want like what?" So I had to explain, we need a generator that can support blow. Like I was heavy into makeup and doing makeup and hair and that kind of stuff. So I was like, no, we need something that can support blow dryers, airbrush machines, like flat irons. Like I don't want to blow a fuse when we're doing a wedding, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, a lot more research, a lot more money, a big fat generator that can really handle, and that's what they built for us. It's quite a journey.
Oh, for sure.
It's quite a journey. And even like, we would go every week to see it being built and just see the progress. And even when he was explaining the generator to us, I would just glaze over. I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. Like, I don't. It took me months, like notes, video, and months to understand. But once you get it, then you're good.
Yeah, because at first I'm sure you guys are just like, can you put the generator in or not? Yes or no? Can you just do it?
Can you just do it? Yeah.
Well, even that, like up until then, neither of us had driven an RV before.
Yeah.
Driven trucks or
moving van,
step van, U-Haul, that type of stuff. Yeah. But it drove great. The front end of it was a van, anyways. But this is the size and it being 29 feet. That was new to us completely, especially on a highway, certain one lane roads. Wind
is
oh man.
Yeah,
it's a thing too. You don't even think about that.
Yeah, driving.
There's so many factors you don't even think about.
Yeah, that's why. Like a lot of people would reach out to me about how did you build it, and at one point, I don't know, maybe in the future we will still do it, but one of our business ideas is to, we want to franchise it. That's fine, but if other people want to contract us to build something for them, we had all the connections and we knew all the things to do when we were in Canada. So we're like, that could be another business that we, people renovate homes, we renovate
mobile
businesses. And I said to some people way back, I'm like, anything could be mobile. Any business could be mobile.
So true.
Or mobile. So I say it funny now.
No, but you know what? You already created this lane. What the hell? You may as well do that. Why not? You're already here. Shoot.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. But like for us too, we have to. Yeah, I think it's just always thinking outside of the box. When I started doing makeup, I didn't want to just do makeup, what everybody did. So I went and taught myself, because I wasn't taught in school how to do it. I taught myself how to airbrush, and I bought different machines. I did all the research. So I always wanted to find a niche market in anything I do that nobody else is doing it.
No, that's unique. And I know you started off, like, I know the business was going good in Toronto, but what made you guys want to take the business from Toronto to Tampa, or at least make that a second city or a second home? Like, what made you guys make that leap with the business?
Well, the whole, they have more people here. They have just a bigger population of people. So the growth would be just easier. But we did create such a good business model there, and we got known that we still, like, this week we've had about 3 or 4 inquiries about when, like, to book parties for January and stuff like that in Toronto.
In Toronto, right?
Yeah. Okay. The decision to make the leap, just,
well, there are a few.
There's a few, yeah. The weather was one, but not the major part. The biggest part was to build something with a bigger population and the opportunity to franchise the business.
Yeah.
That is the goal. We have a certain model of how we do things on the bus that other people don't do. We are the only mobile kid spa here in Tampa as well, which was the decision for picking the city. Right. We came to Tampa once. We never been downtown. We went to the beach. We never even came here.
Yeah. It was always the other side.
It was Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Yeah.
So we came to Kissimmee, and then we drove over here to go to the beach, and then research. They don't have one. All right, let's go there. And that's how we kind of ended up here. But the big decision or the push is there's I think a little more opportunity here. Not saying that Canada doesn't have that, but I think they're a very entrepreneurial country.
Yes.
To be honest, I just noticed, I haven't been all around the US, but in Florida particularly, they really promote the small business. They really promote entrepreneurship. Like, people could we've done events at the mall and stuff, and we don't charge to do the kiddie makeup and stuff. Well, can I tip you? And even if they have no money or whatever, they still want to give you a tip and support your business.
Yeah.
I always say, like, in the gas station here, there's a food truck parked. Nobody bothers them. You can come and sell your goods, and they really support and promote. At home, unfortunately, I've parked in Walmart, in South Common Mall, or in by Sherway to run in and get supplies in Walmart, and I got a ticket for parking there with the bus.
Wow.
Right now, our bus is parked at Pet Value. Like, nobody bothers you here. It was parked at Publix all day yesterday. So they really push that kind of business for self. Yeah. So,
and it's a different mentality too, right? Because being it's the United States of America, it's they're all about their commerce, they're about their business, and they're about their money, right?
Consumerism is alive and well here. It is good.
Yeah, so there's good and bad, but the good in that is if you're running a business, like, people will latch onto it further. They're more open to, like, more things, I find, too.
And they're more open to unique ideas. Nobody has ever asked us, since being here, are you going to show up? We've not been asked that once. They pay their deposit, they pay their balance, and they're good. It was just a easier transition in that respect. Also, too, taxation is a lot easier here. They don't have income tax in Florida.
That's true.
They have federal tax. You still pay federal tax, but they don't have income tax. So, trying to run a business and paying most of it in taxes, it's hard when you're a small business. I'm still paying taxes here. Don't get it twisted. We still pay taxes. But it's just not at, like, that rate that we were paying as much in Canada, unfortunately.
No, it makes sense. Now, I know you guys have, you guys left in 2022, right?
Yeah.
So shortly after that, you guys came across a super unique situation that ended up like superimposing your lives for the public in a way that I don't think you would have imagined. I don't think anybody would imagine. It sounds like a written something like that's like written out in the script. Like, and I don't even know if you believe the script. If somebody brought it to your table, like you look at it like next.
No,
Exactly.
yeah, like what? But
Stop the story. So tell us the story about how you guys hooked up with the big RV remix. Like take us behind the curtain for that. Like how did that even become a thing for that too?
I'll let Derick take that question, but I'll put one little spin on it. We're big into our law of attraction and asking and believing and receiving. So we have like, I don't know, 10 or 15 vision boards, and on one of them it says Purple Box Mobile on TV, but in a good way. You don't want to be on TV in a negative light. So so that we just unpacked our vision boards a few months ago, and I just saw that little thing and I was like, wow,
wow, that's there.
Wow. Yeah. So I'll let you dive into how we ended up on Big RV Remix.
Yeah, honestly, what's that phrase? When the stars align, we all want that in the positive way, right? When everything just kind of slowly comes together, and you don't even realize it until you're midway or a little bit after. Like, holy! So, long story short, or long story long, we were looking to, let's say, expand it to the U.S. and Sasha started to look for a company or a business that modifies mobile vehicles, basically. And so, that took whatever weeks, and just looking at different states. This is different companies, different states. Could be New York, wherever. And came across this one in Georgia, and she shows me the website. Look at these things. Look at their gallery, what they've built, and
stunning work.
Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So,
keep talking. It's a little windy here, so I just want to make you guys feel more comfortable.
Button down.
I feel like I should bring a palm tree.
A little freezing here. So keep going with the story. Keep going.
Too much. So she shows me the website. We're looking at it, and next thing is the obvious. Okay, we're going to contact them soon. So sure enough, that happens. We speak with the owner of the business, David, and they were in, like I said, about an hour from Atlanta, Georgia. And we go a little further. Talk design, things like this. Pay deposit, that type of thing, and we understand how long it should take to build. The time.
Well, and a big part of that was to find the bus. We didn't have a bus yet.
Oh yes, we didn't have a second vehicle.
We didn't have that bus.
So he gives us, which we know a little bit about, gives us the idea of checking auction sites. So he gives us an auction site. We check it out, and that one we didn't really like that one too much. And so we find another auction site, and more or less, we won a bid. We won a bid for this bus. Our current bus. Lo and behold, it's in the state of Texas.
Almost to New Mexico.
Yeah, on the west side of Texas.
Yeah.
So, in the way we do, we're just like, well, I guess one of us or both of us or all three of us are flying to Texas.
Yeah, how are we going to do this?
How are we going to do this?
We need to get it from Texas to Georgia.
To Georgia. So soon after that, and speaking with David, he basically says, we can, I'll fly to staff to Texas, and they'll drive it back. So
you got to pay for it, of course.
Yeah, we have to pay a little something, but it was well worth it.
It was worth it, yeah, because then we didn't have to leave and
take the whole family to go.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly, right? And take that time out.
I feel like I'm in Star Wars. Hold on, let me take this back off. Go ahead.
I was getting all cozy and warm.
Okay, sorry. I'll put it back on.
A little while longer. So...
But you also have a different anxiety, too, because we bought it on auction. So... It says it runs. It says it's good. It was a fleet vehicle for a town in Texas. So it was always maintained and stuff like that. But you still have a little bit. Yeah. We have PTSD from our last bus.
Yeah, we couldn't keep the tires, basically, right?
And we bought something last time that was on Georgian Bay, half covered in snow, and we didn't drive it. And then that whole situation. So that's why.
Yeah, so true. So fast forward a little bit, they end up flying to Texas, driving it back. They tell us, it drives great.
Good shape, thank God.
Good shape and everything. And then basically, several weeks they're going to start the build and so on. So, time goes by. We're still doing our thing in Canada and packing, moving, all this stuff. Sakai's in school. And, we would have a group with him on WhatsApp like we all do. Just information back and forth, and at some point in time,
for the bus and all that, right?
Yes, just strictly business with him, right? Showing design, this and that.
Because now we're expecting, we bought it in March. He says it'll be done by June. So, and
we were thinking to start around September.
We're like, okay, if everything works out with our paperwork to move here, then
start to
build
get on the road and get it built. Yeah.
So he said to us, well, we're shooting a TV show. So we thought he was going to be on an episode of a TV show. He didn't really explain it.
He didn't delve into what that meant. Really.
Right? Yeah. So we came down to Florida last year in April. And on the way, we drove down. And on the way back, we said we're going to stop in and see the bus and the progress. Yeah. Well, good thing we stopped in because there wasn't too much progress.
True story.
They weren't doing much.
They're doing a little insulation. I think, just to make it look like, they're working on it. But we could kind of tell.
Yeah. And then that's the first time meeting us in person, seeing who we were and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Meetings. He met Sakai.
And I don't know. I don't even know how it happened because we had moved here already, and then they called us and said somebody dropped because we were living in Riverview and somebody dropped out.
Yeah, because we were basically being delayed. So now we go to, we're WhatsApping and calling him once in a while, and he's not answering.
We're like, what the heck, man? Like,
week goes by, no reply. So then he does eventually answer. He says, "Oh, so sorry, we're now filming. We're filming something. Sorry, I'm a little delayed. Oh, everything will be all right." He's like, "Yes." 2-3 weeks goes by, no answer. So he answers.
So like a little nervous almost.
We paid a lot of money now.
He says filming is all day. We're so tired. We're backed up on our other work.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to push through to get your stuff done. We're like, okay.
Like, what does this look like? Like, what timeline?
So,
and not to stop you, but again, to paint the picture, you guys just moved.
Yeah.
And as you said, you put all this money into this, and now you're not hearing, you're not getting feedback or response back. That would be a little nerve-wracking too, because you're making such a big life change.
When can we open? Like, what does that look like?
We're waiting for the bus, basically, right? So,
go ahead.
Yeah. So same thing, he says, really delayed. All my work is backed up as well. So like, okay, well, we're concerned about our business. Right? So he says, a few things, and then so another couple weeks goes by, another third week, and he more or less, he does get on the phone eventually and says a little bit of the same, but this time he says, well, looks like somebody is dropping out, as Sasha just mentioned.
Yeah.
And, if you guys are interested, I could see if we could maybe get your business on the show we're filming.
Yeah.
And the two of us are like,
what?
Huh?
But at first, well, you could, a lot of people can film stuff. So
we still didn't know what it was.
We still didn't know, but he kind of dove in a little more and he said, well, it's a TV show that's being filmed for A&E. So we were like, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Everybody knows who A&E is.
No, actually, no, that was the producer said that to us. But more or less.
Well, so David said, okay, well, the executive producer would want to talk to you guys and just, you can't throw somebody on TV that they don't know what we sound like, what we look like.
Yeah, right.
So we ended up talking with him. I can't remember.
Yes. Okay. So basically, he said, to backstep a little bit. You guys would like to see if you can get on the show because a spot opened up, and we said, oh, for sure, please. So he says, okay, I'll see. So about a week later, he gets back to us and says, they're not too sure. We don't know about the demographics. They might be different than what your bus is.
Yeah.
Everybody has a daughter and a niece, work it, see what you can do. So he said, okay, I'll get back to you guys. And then sure enough, he does get back to us and says, you guys, got this episode. And we were ecstatic, obviously. And then said, okay, in a few days, a producer will reach out to you guys.
Yeah.
So that does happen. I think it was a Monday, Tuesday, I believe.
Executive producer of the show.
Yeah, we get a phone call from Rob.
And
that's when he says, the showrunner.
Yeah.
That's when he says, okay, good. Oh, tell us about your business. And, towards the middle of the call, he says, so it'll be on A&E in such and such. And what? What?
We're like, serious.
I had no clue. Didn't know it was going to be on.
You're thinking this is like on YouTube or somebody's YouTube page, which can still be big.
Exactly, right?
Exactly.
So and actually, I just found out maybe a couple months ago that it's Kelly Ripa and her husband are the executive producers, and this is how this show got produced. Oh, wow. We did not even know that. Yes. We, a lot of information wasn't divulged because we weren't part of the initial.
So fast too.
Yeah, it just
honestly,
we moved here in July, and then by August we had to fly to Georgia and film the beginning stages of it. And then we went back in September with Zakai for the reveal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It really did happen quick.
Stars aligned, eyes blinked, woke up, what?
Yeah. And then I think in maybe June we found out that it wasn't going to go straight to A&E. It was going to go on Hulu because they could put all the episodes on Hulu, and then at one time, and then in a few months after, it will come out on A&E.
Yes.
So, but we have actually the party we booked last week. We did last Tuesday, a weekday special party. She said, I saw you guys on Hulu, and that's why I booked you. So
amazing.
yeah. So, you know, we can do more with it on our social media, like promoting it and stuff like that. And we have to get into that, but
yeah, which I mean, the A&E that hasn't debuted yet, so I mean, you still have time. Like that's a good part.
Yes,
that's a good part. I would say make sure you're ready for that. You know, once it gets to that stage for sure. But but what at what point in time did you guys realize that Big Boy of Outkast is also executive producer and part of the show? Like, at what point in time did you guys realize? Was it when you showed up? Like, when did you guys see?
No, honestly, that is a good question.
I think we found out a few weeks before we flew to Atlanta to film the first thing. Or maybe Rob told us initially, and Big Boy is part of it. Because I think our episode and Shaq's episode were the last two to be filmed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all the other ones were filmed already. And we were one of the later ones to film at least the beginning stage of it. Yeah, because we were just like a shoo-in. Like it was like, even getting there on the day we got there to film it, it was just like it was pouring rain.
Yeah, it was humid.
It was humid, pouring rain, and everything's just kind of like, you know, a little bit of chaos. So we see on the wall, like they have the sticker episode 9, Purple Box Mobile. We're like, oh my God, it's us. Like, oh my God.
And at that point, as you say that, we see these sheets of paper on the wall.
That's when we found out that Shaq was episode 10. We were like, what? They didn't tell us. They didn't tell us that.
Wow, this is a lot bigger than what you thought.
Oh, for sure.
Way bigger than that. And even the whole Big Boy thing, like it
was a little later. I don't know.
No, we thought he was going to be there when the first time when we went, which that he doesn't. He comes more for the reveal. We found out after.
Okay.
So when we went back for the reveal, we got a celebrity trailer. So we had a trailer that we could get dressed in and chill in, and some air conditioning. And he was in the trailer right next to us. So that's when we took some of those pictures.
That's when we met him.
They're like, Janice came over and they're, oh, you want to meet Big Boy? And we're like, okay, sure, of course.
We're like, nah, not really. We're good. We listen to their album.
I'm a little busy right now.
Yeah, it's okay. I like Speaker Box, but do we need to meet him?
So, yeah, and that's we met, and then we kind of found out about Janice too. In the first part of filming, we didn't really know much about her. Right, and came to find out that she was his assistant at first and then became his manager, and they do a lot of business together. They own celebrity trailers together. So that's how and we filmed in her house in that first segment when we're sitting down talking about the Canadian money and food stamps and all of that. That's in her house. The mansion.
Yes.
The mansion.
Yeah. So and
it is Atlanta though.
Pardon?
I said it is Atlanta though, so the
ATL, Georgia.
And his big trailer was outside, so we got to take a tour of his trailer,
his personal trailer
that she gifted him. That's episode 9 now that she gifted him.
Right.
Okay.
Has a hot tub in it. Has the stripper pole, pool table. I think
nuts.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy because I you know, this when you guys were telling me this, I remember thinking like, how crazy must that be to have Big Boy being like beside your purple? I mean, and the thing is, I think you said this in a previous show that you guys love, or on that show that you guys love, or you love purple. Purple's your favorite color. Yes. And then here you are with a rapper who at one point like a lot of his stuff is purple.
Yeah.
His whole trailer is purple. The outside of his
right.
trailer is purple.
His favorite color.
You have the purple all stars. You have the purple all stars,
Yeah,
the whole album,
like
and everything he does has a little bit of purple in it.
Little royal color,
that's
you know?
Wild. Yeah, that's wild.
Well, even for him, he was like, you know, I love Big Boy and stuff like that, like Outkast back in the day and stuff. But like, you know, girls are different.
With hip hop,
He was like, I can't believe I met like.
More Derick. Just like, what is happening here?
Yeah, Southern playalistic. You know,
love
elevators, man.
I was more into the commercial stuff that used to be on 106 on Park Bombs over Baghdad, like, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Too much.
But yeah, I was like, and he was super cool, and he's on our bus, like rapping on our bus. We're like, oh my god, talking to my son.
Yeah, right.
And for those who haven't seen the show yet, Zakai's a star. He's one of the stars of the show. Their son. He's one of the stars.
Young natural man, honestly.
Yeah, he took over that.
Hopefully you guys, you know, people do see it. Even right in the beginning, I believe it was Janice or one of them said something. Oh, you ready? He goes, I even got my necklace on. I'm looking at him like these aren't lines. That's all him.
Yeah, it's so super natural at it. We probably will get him into some entertainment after this.
Yeah. And what's the reception been for you guys post Big RV remix?
It's funny. Like, so we did a party out in Odessa, and I missed it because I was helping the client with parking or something. But our driver at the time, Jesse, and a couple of the hosts, somebody was like, "Oh my God, I saw this on TV. This is what I saw on TV." So it's you know.
Yeah, even one of the parties that I drove, I forget where it was. Maybe it was Tampa or something. But the mother, one of the first things she said was, "Oh, we watched you a few days ago," and it caught me off guard. I was like, huh? From where? Yeah.
And people keep telling me I look really familiar. I'm like, well, I am on TV. No, I'm kidding.
That's too funny.
So, but even, you know, our reception here, I know people have their perception about the U.S. and about Florida and about all these things. And a few people said, well, why would you guys even move there? There's no perfect place to live. So it's not that we're saying that, but the reception of the people here of all genres of people have been so welcoming and so genuinely nice and supportive and want to see us grow and build our business. And this is from mansion houses that we go to other, like, you know, just townhouse, whatever, like from up and down, they just genuinely want to see us succeed and help us grow our business. So it's been a really, like I said, they're very nice. I have like
very nice down here on that southern hospitality. It's not all again what Sasha's saying. You know, the negative connotations in certain ways. Yeah, you'd be surprised. It's very very nice.
Super welcoming.
No, that's awesome. Now, and I know you guys have been doing this for a while, but what made you cater to kids, like little girls and teens and kids, as opposed to like adults, as to what you guys were maybe seeing before?
Well, doing the makeup, so doing the bridal, I did a lot of bridal. That was great and fun. But like I said, I spoke to my sister one day after she did my niece's birthday, and I was like, how much did you spend on this? She had food for the parents. She's like, my niece is now 14, so this is probably going back 10 years. And she said, about $1,500 to $2,000. I was like, what? Yeah. Right? On a 4-year-old birthday party. Right now, that's like chump change. People are spending that all over the place.
Yeah.
But I just saw there was a market for it.
And then honestly, Sasha came to me one day and she goes, you know, I think I'm gonna do a little spa kids parties on the bus. And I was like, wow, where's this coming from?
Where does this come from?
You know, we love kids. We have one ourselves. I have many nieces and nephews, but to actually work with, you know, that's not a daycare center, but I was like, oh, okay, yeah, well, it could work. Yeah,
it just came to me. And then I was talking to her best friend, and she says, oh no, I had a princess come to do my daughter's birthday, and she goes, that was about $500, and she read them a story. I don't even think she painted nails. She sang a song and whatever. So to be honest, and I know
She didn't even like dance or do the gritty or anything like that. She just read the story.
No, she sang a song, read a story, and these kids are enchanted by it, right? But it was the financial aspect of it and kind of diversifying the business. I was like, wait, you can just go paint some. I do makeup anyways professionally. So why wouldn't I do makeup for kids? It's some eyeshadow, some lip gloss, some blush. And it's just for fun. It's not a wedding. It's not a photo shoot. It's just fun. Right. And I guess in our journey to being more in a law of attraction kind of setting, I have little girls kind of flock to me. I'm not like we'll be in a store and they just come talk to me.
Staring in her face like this sometimes.
Yeah. So it just seemed like a natural progression and something that I would enjoy doing that wasn't so serious and as detailed as doing a bridal party or doing a photo shoot and stuff like that. It just seemed more fun. And it seemed like you could make good money doing it. So like I said, I bought all this stuff, had mirrors, had the bowls, and people received that really well. So once the bus was coming, I was like, you know what? I think we're just gonna put this on the bus. It's lit, it's ready, it has
it has some seats, lounge
seats, little stations for them. It was just kind of actually when we built the bus, we were already doing the spa parties. Because I wanted certain things on the bus built to be able to cater to that as well.
Right.
So it was just a shift in mindset about, I guess, some of those things about pivoting. Like people ask me, like during COVID, we created the adult spa because so many parents wanted this for themselves.
Right.
So we would have the kids on the bus, and then we would do backyard manis, pedis, and facials and stuff for the adults. That didn't last, unfortunately.
This is in Toronto, though, or is this in
This is in Toronto, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It didn't last. After 2020 was good. We were booked. We were busy. Right. But 2021, you couldn't hire an esthetician to save your life. A lot of people changed careers.
Right.
Yeah.
So it just kind of, a lot of money spent. It was one of our pivots to do that. We spent a lot of money. We did pretty good at it. But then when you couldn't hire staff, I had to stop.
Yeah.
Because everything was locked down and this whole industry is folded, right?
Yeah. So, the whole industry kind of just changed a lot. So even my love of makeup, we did our last wedding last year and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'd done it for 13 years and I was like, I'm good.
You're good now.
Yeah.
Okay. And how important was it for you to execute the dream and vision that you guys have for this, especially like looking back on it now, like how important for you, like what's the correlation that like how important was it for you to execute the dream and the vision that you had for this? Now that you're sitting in Tampa with the Christmas tree in the back and,
But again, we came here. That's a great question. But the building of a business, like I forgot how difficult and how challenging and the certain things that we did in the beginning, building it there
from the ground up.
Like, we were going to shows, we were parking it at different places, all these kind of things you kind of just forgot. So it was a little more, it was recreating the wheel, but not certain parts of it we didn't have to do.
In a new space.
New country, new everything. So that was challenging. But the execution of it is that it did well in Canada. It can't not do well here. And even the execution of it there was no choice. You know what I mean? This is what we were going to do. But you do question yourself when we weren't getting any bookings in the first year. It was slow. I was like, oh my God, like, did I make a huge mistake? I have put all our personal, I used a lot of our personal credit to build the first bus. So a lot of tears, a lot of, like, just being honest, it was like a lot of scary, how are we going to afford this? We just got this house and now we have a big mortgage and now, only one of us is actually bringing in money. So what is this going to look like? So it was just either you just keep going, keep going. you see some people on Shark Tank and Dragon's Den, and you're like, you guys, they tell them you should have quit like 2 years ago instead of keep feeding money into the business.
Right.
Which even back to being on TV, we auditioned twice for Dragon's Den in Canada, and we didn't. They loved it, but we never made it on, and we got the same producer twice. So thanks, CBC. Thanks. We're on Hulu now.
It's like, look at us now.
Now you're on Hulu and A&E.
Just kidding. I'm playing. I still want to be on Dragon's Den. I'll still do it. Or even Shark Tank.
But now you might be doing their spas instead of actually going on their show.
Right?
Now
It's possible.
Anything's
possible. You should catch that.
Everything is possible. And if people always say, "Oh, I love this idea," and they would come on the bus, "Oh my God, I love it. This is so cool." And then we would crickets for bookings, right? So that you just question everything, and you if did we make the right choice here? But COVID, lo and behold, rolled around, and
it was first a curse, then it became a gift.
Quite a blessing, to be honest.
Yeah,
People didn't want to go anywhere, so they just wanted us to come to them. And kind of ironically, 18, 19, 20, that was like our third year in business. So that was when the trajectory was supposed to go up anyways.
Yeah.
But a lot of panic now because you guys closed us down for months, like
twice.
Many times.
Yeah, two or 3 months the first time, and then
it was delayed too.
7 months.
7 months.
And when it was supposed to be back open, it delayed. And
you
know what? Let me not give you more PTSD. Let me take this off. Really, so it doesn't remind you of that. At least I leave the hat on.
Took. We don't hear that word anymore, right?
But yeah, from 2020 November 2020 till June 2021, we were closed.
Right.
Which
for a business, any business, that's a long time.
Yeah, a lot of businesses didn't survive.
No.
So it was hard.
And it's interesting because I always say, like, when you're, I remember it was our anniversary, me and my wife's anniversary, and we stayed downtown for a few days. It's like I think it was like 2 years ago. I think it was 2021, and we were walking downtown. I remember walking down. I'm taking back to downtown on Front Street, and I remember like every second or third store was like boarded up, closed, boarded up, closed, gone, boarded up, closed, gone. And I'm like, whoa, like you don't take the magnitude of it. And the reason I'm asking these questions too is because we always see the success story. Like even for you guys, see you guys on the show, and it's amazing. I mean, I know the backstory because I know you guys, but like but everybody sees the success or the backstory. They think, oh, like it's all great, and not knowing like there was so many hills to climb. There's so much blood, sweat, and tears that was
tears,
lost.
literal
so
tears.
Sweat equity, like there's so much things that was into this process that nobody sees. Your fingerprints that was literally all over this thing.
Yeah, because I know
get to that point to be seen in that way.
Some people said, just different things you hear from friends or whatever. Like, what is she doing? Like, it's gonna kind of saying like it's gonna ruin their family kind of thing because he has to take the brunt of all the income, right? Because I'm doing this, but I wasn't doing this for free. It costs a lot of money to build that bus, the Canadian bus and the US bus. They cost money, but eventually they will bring back what they, what costs. And I think I was talking yesterday about being a team. Like,
absolutely.
If we're going to do this business, although you see me as the face of it, when there's something to fix or the generator is this or all that, he's our maintenance guy. He takes care of all the other stuff that I can take care of the business stuff, but all the other stuff, it's somebody else doing it, but people don't.
He's a silent arm that you don't see.
Exactly. Yeah. For the first year or 2 years, I didn't drive the Canadian bus until he taught me how to drive it. And then I was like, yeah, I'm good. We're good. I can drive it. So I drive the one here now too. So, but yeah, there's a lot of, it's definitely a collaborative effort in a lot of things we do. Yeah. It wasn't just my choice to just go do a business and say, oh, I'm going to take all our money and go do that.
Right.
And put us in deep debt and just, it was a choice.
Absolutely.
So,
but I mean, it's working. It's working right now.
It is. I mean, we're doing our best.
I think it'll continue. Like I said, what I said to you guys years ago when you guys just started is I still believe that now. I think you guys are actually closer to it now. Like the being on the Big RV remix is kind of like evidence that you're closer to that now than ever before.
And we didn't chase that. You know what? When I was chasing being on Dragon's Den, like to get us on TV, or I had paid a girl, like this is all the crazy stuff people don't know. I had paid a girl about $2,000 to do PR for me and to get me on to breakfast television and City Pulse and all these kind of things. Yeah. And it didn't work. She faded off, whatever. But those are all things that are part of when you do business. Right. Sometimes I paid to be on a TV show, this wedding showcase show. Right. I did all the makeup for all the vendors on the show in exchange, but I still had to pay, I think, $1,500. And it was showed on like CTV once, and it never did anything major. Yeah. When I stopped chasing it, then it just came in our lap. Yeah. Like that, right? But there's also the ugly stories of us. The first rap we did on the bus, it was somebody we knew who we just shouldn't have done it. And that was the first ugly color. I'm like, it's not even friggin' purple. That was the first thing. And one year in 2018, me and this guy, we met a nice guy who was going to rewrap it. So he said, no, you guys can bring it in here and keep it there. We had it there for 2 weeks. And every day while Zakai was in school, we went and peeled off by hand or with WD-40. His nephew would bring a friend and come and help us. But for the most part, we were there scraping that ugly thing off. That previous
ruby
wrap.
Red kind of color.
That ruby
red. It was supposed
red.
to be purple.
That was purple. It was supposed to be purple. And then Yara rewrapped it. But in that experience about spending time with Yara was the owner of the company that rewrapped it for us. Yeah. He said, Sasha, I have spent tens of thousands of dollars, billboards, trying this, trying that, doing this, doing that. And then it kind of clicked on me. I was still new to being an entrepreneur, solely. Yeah. And it kind of clicked to me. I was like, sometimes you just got to try everything. Sometimes you're going to be down to your last $10, but you just paid somebody 2 G's. They may have ran with your money, but eventually you will find what works. And or you ask enough and just be open to receiving it, and it will come. Yeah. So, it's not all about the money. It's more about like your energy and what you put out in the world and stuff like that, and what comes back to you. So
1,000%.
Yeah, and that's how we really try to live it.
Now, without giving up too much, depending on how much you guys want to share, but where do you ultimately want to take this business? Like, if all your dreams with Purple Box Mobile is realized, what does it look like? And it's up to you how much you want to share.
Yeah, I mean, world domination is key. Like, this is it is a business that can go to Europe. It can go to
you want some Pinky in the Brain shit? That's what you want. Okay.
Yeah. It can really go all over.
Everybody has kids.
Everybody has kids. Right? Everybody has it's not easy to run, but it's easy to create and franchise out. We've already had people asking us, when you guys are ready to come to Texas and franchise, Orlando. Texas is a huge market. Texas is big. So, I've had people tell me, oh my God, Ohio would love this. Like, you guys run in the winter. I'm like, oh yeah, winter was schminter. We come from Canada. We can do it. Like, I think only once in Canada we didn't go to a party because it was a major snowstorm and nobody was going nowhere. But otherwise, we showed up everywhere. That we were supposed to. But yeah, we think Europe, the Middle East eventually. Some shiny cities out that way we like. But yeah, you can really put it anywhere and grow it. And we want to produce, like, we don't want to just franchise it and say, here, take it. We want to build the bus. We want to wrap the bus. We want to sell everything that we offer to the people who are buying it from us, and they follow our model, and like from the robes to the headbands to everything that we offer and produce, that we want to sell all of it to them. Hopefully one day have a huge warehouse doing these kind of things. So yeah, if Russia will let us in, maybe we'll go there. Okay. They're cold. I'm kidding. I'm going to hot countries.
Smart.
Yeah.
And I think the South is where, I know you guys are in Florida, but the South in the States, it's a very big place.
Yeah.
It's a very big place. A very receptive place too when you're doing good business. So you see the different genres where they full on support. They're like an industry in itself, you know what I mean? Just that alone. You know, so
and even Canada too, like putting it did so well, and we actually own that space that nobody else has come to do. So eventually putting Vancouver would be a great market. We had talked about, actually before coming to Florida, Vancouver was our target space that we were heavily, I forgot about that. We were really looking at Vancouver to put one there. What do you call it? The market and the people, or our what do you call it when they're our demographic. Our demographic is, out there. People who want to do this kind of stuff. And it's not only for people who can afford it. We make it affordable for all families. Like everyone can enjoy this little bit of joy. We recently added bounce houses to our portfolio, which is something that we wanted to add in Canada. But before we bought them, we had to rethink how many months of use are we really going to get out of them, and then to store them and stuff like that. So we added it here. But our goal is to be the directors of fun, to be the CEOs of fun and entertainment.
I love that.
Yeah, and be, just a lighter sort of business model that is, you're still making money, still doing what you're supposed to be doing, but we bring joy to people, not, more fun.
I love that. I didn't even think about that. I love that. Directors of fun. That's crazy. I love that.
I took that from Esther, but anyway. The directors of fun and a good time. Like, so even here we're looking to add more inflatable type, the inflatable games. I'm looking to do snow cone machine. I really want an ice cream truck. So I don't know why I'm obsessed with having an ice cream truck. So I want one day.
Like I said, you're already here. You're already on the service road, creating your own road.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not be the development of your own community, right?
Yeah. That's it.
Why not? Why does this only have to be a road itself, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I guess the decision is, eventually, do we want to take on investors and build it out? But we are looking to go. We missed Invest Fest in Atlanta this year. So we are looking to go to Invest Fest next year.
That's huge.
It's mega.
Huge.
One of my friends was at it, and she called me on the Sunday, and she's like, Sash. And some of Janice was there, because, our bus is built in Georgia. So they have that community for us. Yeah. And actually, Atlanta has a lot of spa buses that David has built out there as well. Okay. But, looking to just see, maybe there's things we don't think about. Like, you just think investor, but there's a whole different way of doing business. Like you say, we're in an era of change, and we don't
creative new ideas, and
that we are not all knowing yet. So we definitely want to go to that.
I think that would greatly benefit you guys to be at Invest Fest, because I know that's really taken off, and especially during this COVID time, like this, this pandemic period, like it's really blown up in the last couple of years.
Really, I've never heard of it until this year.
I heard about it last year. I think or last year or 2 years ago, but I know this year was like everybody you could think of was like going to that thing, and I'm like, damn, even I was like, shit, should I be at this thing?
Yeah.
So true.
You should, like, honestly, it's my sister was looking into the cost of it. It's not badly priced at all.
Yeah,
it's well priced, and it's
opportunity.
Again, if we want a franchise, we have to learn how to. You need a franchise lawyer. You need you just need to know how to do it and do it properly. So,
but like I said, man, you're already here. So, may as well. But I guess it's one of my last questions or my last question, but going forward, and I guess it's kind of leading into what I was saying here, like seeing that you're growing into like this trailblazing role, the both of you, and because of the lane that you guys started and created,
right.
What's your message for everyone? And I guess that this part is for you, Sasha, but especially women that are where you were in terms of trying to make that leap into something completely new. Like what would be your message for them?
Do it. Honestly, just do it. But research everything. Like, I do, he calls me the research queen. I dive in deep, and even with a lot of research, you still make mistakes.
Absolutely.
I think we have to honor, I'm really hard on myself for making mistakes. So I think people have to honor their mistakes and learn the lesson from that.
Right.
And, don't be afraid. I think everything requires some level of risk. It just depends how much you're willing to take. Like I used to be crying to my friends. I risked all of like my family's credit and our little families, everything. And I put us in a world of debt. And I felt that burden really hard. But, now we are sitting in Tampa on those, based on something that I, thought up. And having somebody support you. It doesn't need to be a spouse necessarily, but having support is crucial. If, sometimes you doubt yourself, and if you have somebody saying, it's okay, cry, let it out, but get back on the horse and just keep on. I think a lot of women, we get caught up in the family and keeping the home and all that stuff. And that is all great. And you have to do those things, but there's a whole world that you can do those things, get help with those things, and still do what you're passionate about. Because life is short, man. Like, as we have all learned in the last couple of years, life is super short, and you got to try to be happy doing what you love. I honestly love doing these parties. Like, these kids drive me nuts for an hour and a half, and they run around the bus. But at the end of it, they have such a good time, and I get hugs from them as they're coming off. They're like, this is so amazing. I've had people write reviews in Canada. The kids were talking about it for a week at school, like after, like that brings me genuine happiness and joy to see that.
I love that. And what about you, Junes? You want to add to that? Or sorry, Derick, you want to add to that?
Junes is all right. Honestly, all her words are exact. These little girls, even like again before the business. Just sometimes catching them like staring at Sasha, and so now bringing them a box with wheels at the bottom, and they get into it and
party it up,
and fairy Sasha is hello, and it's your birthday, and getting them hype,
making everything special for people. I think it's a big deal.
Joyful is the perfect word. And obviously this is unique. So it's something that we've always, myself, even separate, always like things being a little different, and we all have to do some of the same things.
That's why you married me, because I'm different.
She's definitely different, as you can tell, right? And I always liked different, and so our business is different. These little girls are these people. It's a different type of birthday, right? The only one in the country, Canada. The only one in this area, Tampa. It's so unique, and people like to feel different. People, I find, feel a little special. It's something that's unique for them. So,
and I think good advice for everybody. Honestly, if you ask and believe and receive it, be open to receiving it. Sure. You just throw it. The universe will grant you your wishes. It just like I cannot even tell you. It was a lot of work to get us here, a lot of paperwork and a lot of stuff. But when he just said it yesterday. He goes, I can't believe we live here now. Yeah. Like we have groups with some other friends, and we're like, we live here now. That's what it's called. That's our group name,
Manifest and write things down, all that stuff.
Do your vision boards and stuff, and and just keep going.
Keep working.
Don't let people tear you down. Just keep going.
Yeah.
No, I love it. Well, you know what? I'll let you guys go. But thank you for hopping on the Ave. I mean, this is long overdue. We talked about doing this I think when I was in Florida a year ago. And I'm like, you know what? When the show comes out, let's let's do it. Let's do it then.
Yeah.
And, piggyback off it a little bit, and and just go from there. But we're in between the phase of Hulu's release and then A&E's release coming in. I think was it the spring of 2024? Is that
I think
it?
So. Yeah.
Yes.
Episode number 6.
Episode
Purple
6.
Box
That's
Mobile.
awesome. You're right in the middle. You're right in the middle of the season. That's right where you want to be. You're right in there. That's a great time to be in there.
Yeah.
And if it's still snowing when it's on A&E episode 6, feel free to come back and wear these tubes to come back up here and shovel snow with us. You can watch it at my house. You guys can shovel snow and everything.
Just for old time's sake.
Yeah, man, the whole thing, man.
And I will still remain spelling check CHEQUE. Okay, so it's always gonna be a check.
But thank you, seriously, thank you guys once again.
Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you for checking out the latest edition of the Ave Podcast. Special shout out goes out to Sasha and Derick Anderson for coming on and sharing their story and their unique story with us. Just building something from the bottom up and building it out. It's a story definitely worth following. You can follow their progress over on Instagram at Purple Box Mobile, and you can check out their website over at purpleboxmobile.com. And if you haven't seen their episode yet on the Big RV Remix, you can check that out on Hulu if you have it. And this spring, as long as you have cable of any kind, you'll be able to watch it on A&E. And I'll be sure to update you with the dates and times that come up just a little bit closer to that date. And make sure you check out my catalog as well over at southshirav.com and hit that like and subscribe buttons wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, I appreciate the support and the continued support from all of you. All right. For Sasha and Derick Anderson, this is Cal C. And you just tuned into the latest edition of the Ave Podcast right here on South Shirav Radio. We got one more episode left, and then I'm taking a 2-week break off for the holidays, and then we're going to be back at it for the new year. So tune in next week for the final episode of 2023. All right, stay tuned for that. Until next time, peace. We out.